I'm going to go over a little bit of the homework for section 2.6. So number 22 basically says that the perimeter of a square is 44 centimeters. So centimeters not important, inches or whatever the case may be. Now this is a perimeter for a rectangle. The only thing that's different for a perimeter of a rectangle and a square is a square is all four sides are exactly the same. So basically, if we know our perimeter is 44, we're going to list our knowns. So our P is 44. And what we don't know is what our sides are. So that remains unknown. So if I use this exact same formula, P is equal to 4S, P is equal to 44. So I know my perimeter is 44. And 44 is equal to 4S. So divide both of these by 4. That allows you to isolate that. So I know that one side now, that's an S, is equal to 44 divided by 4. 44 divided by 4, it's going to give me 11. So I know that each side is 11. Now, if I move on to number 26, and number 26 lists, it says that one side of a triangle, I'm not going to write the whole thing, but it says one side is half the longest side. And then it says that the third side is 10 less than the long. And then it tells you that the perimeter is 60, or let me see, the perimeter is 45. It doesn't matter if it's feet, inches, or whatever the case. Now, because this is actually talking about a triangle, and for my particular triangle, I have a different formula. So my perimeter for my triangle is A plus B plus C, and I think I covered that a little bit briefly. But anyway, I'm going to list my knowns, so I know my perimeter is 45. And then I have my A, my B, and my C. So there's going to be one thing that we know nothing about. So if I look at this, I know that one side is half the longest, and the other one is 10 less than the longest. So basically, anytime that they reference two things, that is going to be the item that you don't know. So in this particular case, I'm going to say that A is equal to my longest side. And then I'm going to determine that this is going to be my shortest, and this is going to be the third side. It really doesn't matter which one you pick. But it says if one side is half the longest, that means that this is going to be 1/2 A. And then it says my third side is 10 less than the longest, so that's going to be A minus 10. So that's how I'm going to set that up. And then basically I'm just going to substitute these in, right? And this is still going to be equal to A. So if I substitute all this in, I'm going to use this. Perimeter is equal to A plus B plus C. And then I'm going to just keep going. 45 is equal to my perimeter, so I'm just substituting that in. A is equal to A. B is equal to 1/2 A. It's supposed to be a 2. And then C is A minus 10. So I'm going to combine all those together, and basically I'm going to just put a 1 in front of these A's just so it's a little bit easier to add all these together. So that's a 1, 2, and that's a half. So that's going to be 2 and 1/2 A minus 10 is equal to 45. And remember, I want to find out what all these sides are. I don't know any, but there's one thing I don't know anything about, and that's really what we're only thing we have to solve, and the other ones you just kind of plug in. So I have to add 10 to both sides. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other side. So by doing that, this is going to give me 55 on this side, and this is going to give me 2.5. So remember, 2.5 is the same thing as 5 over 2. I'm just going to write it as 5 over 2 because it's a lot easier to use my reciprocal then. So the reciprocal of 5 over 2 is 2 over 5. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. And 2 times 55 is going to give me 110. And that's going to give me a 5 at the bottom. And remember, this is going to allow this to come down to a single A. So if I need 110 divided by 5, 5 won't go into 1, but 5 will go into 11 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 will go into 10 2 times. So I know that my longest side now is 22. So I can just kind of go back in and plug that in. Now it tells me that B, which could be my shortest side, I guess you could say, is 1/2 as long as A. So 1/2 of 22 is going to give me 11. And then it says C is 10 less than my longest. So it's going to be 22 I'm just substituting in the a here because I know it's 22. It basically becomes 22 minus 10, which is going to give me 12. So if I add all of these back up together, 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, 2 plus 1 is 3, plus my other one is 4. So that's going to give me 45, and that's exactly what my parameter is. So with these particular ones, it doesn't matter what they change it to. Remember, there's always going to be something that you don't have any information about. Let me look at the other one. I have questions 30 and 32. So let me just review that one real quick. Let's move to number 30. So number 30 for this particular one, it says that the width of a rectangle, and I'm just going to kind of abbreviate that, it says is 3 less than the length. We're talking about rectangles, so we're going to use a different formula, but that's okay. And then it says that the perimeter is 10. So once again, I'm just going to use the same formula for my rectangle, and that formula is P is equal to 2 times length plus 2 times width. Hence we use that, and you see that on every test. But anyway, I need to know what the perimeter is, the length, and the width. So that's what I need to know. So I know my perimeter is 10, so I can go ahead and fill that in. I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite my formula over here. And then it says the width is 3 less than the length. So I don't know what the length is, so my length is just going to remain at L. Remember, you're going to have one variable here. But I know that my width is 3 less than, so that's just going to be L minus 3. All right, it's just 3 less than. So notice that now I only have one variable, and that's really what you're trying to do with all of these. So I'm going to just substitute in. I know my perimeter is 10, so that's going to be 10 is equal to 2 times length, which I know my length is just an L, so that's just going to remain an L. Then that's going to be multiplied by 2 times my width. My width is L minus 3. And then all I'm doing is I'm just letters on one side, numbers on the other. So 2 times L and 2 times 3. So if I'm just rewriting this exactly as I see it, 2 times L is just going to give me 2L. 2 times a negative 3 is going to give me a negative 6. And then I can combine these together. These are like items, so I simplify. So 2L plus 2L is going to give me 4L. And that's going to be minus 6. Letters on one side, numbers on the other, so it's easier just to move the 6 to the other side. This allows this to disappear. That becomes 4. Length is equal to 16 now. Divide both of these by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And remember, this just allows you to come down to a single length. And then I can just substitute that in. I know that my length now is equal to 4. My perimeter should stay at 10. And then I know that my width is my length minus 3. So I know my length is 4, so this just becomes 4 minus 3, which is 1. Now if I plug all this back in, that tells me that 10 should be equal to 2 times 4 plus 2 times 1. I'm just using this formula right here. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 1. 8 plus 2 is 10, so I know I've worked this one out correctly.